Hello, what about you? We're making French onion soup, lovely caramelized onions, savory broth and gooey cheese. Let's get cracking. We've lots of onions to prepare. You might find it easier to cut that stem off before trying to peel them. Don't be worried about taking too much of the peel and skin. We can save those and make vegetable stock with them. Pop them in a Ziploc bag, pop it in the freezer. Next, we're going to cut or slice the onions. Cut them in half, put the flat side down, and then make nice even slices from the root to the stalk. Give the onion a turn and horizontally make 2 more slices in. This is how to properly make uniform pieces of onion. I'm actually preferring to slice the onions for this particular recipe. Once all the onions have been sliced, it's time to start thinking about melting that butter in a nice warm pot. Once the butter has melted, you're going to add those onions into it. Don't worry if they stick together and feel like they're clumped up. They're going to get broken down and tossed and coated in that melted Irish butter. There you have it. Stir them up. Make sure they're nice and evenly distributed and put the lid on that pot. Now it's time to prepare the bread part. I'm using Irish wheaten bread that I've made myself. It's my favorite. Just look at that. Lovely. I'm going to cut off 4 slices. Now I'm not using the heel. I'm going to save that for bread and jam later on with a nice cup of tea. Remember, any bread can be used. Traditionally, a white crusty French loaf would be the bread of choice in this particular recipe. Now that the bread is being sliced, time to move on to the cheese. I'm using Irish cheddar, but there are other cheeses that can be used instead. Make sure it's nicely grated. Back to the bread, lay it on an oven-proof sheet. Get it all nicely buttered, put it in under the grill to toast. Back to the onions, how are they doing? Well, they're going to have sherry wine vinegar added, bit of salt, maybe a bit more for good measure. Give it a good stir, time for the beef broth to be poured in. And after that, the bone broth. This is the particular brand that I like to use. It's lovely and thick and gloppy. Stick to your ribs, good for your hair and nails. Give it a good stir and make sure to include all of those little onion bits that are on the side. We don't want any onion escapees. Bring it to a good boil, give it a stir, then simmer for about 5 more minutes. Time to serve up. Couple of generous ladles will fill up these French onion soup crocks. Put on that toasted wheaten bread and then lots and lots of that Irish cheddar on top. Once that's done, put it back onto that oven sheet pan so that it can go in under the broiler for that cheese to melt and get gooey. There you have it, the final product. Bubbling, delicious and ready to eat. Nothing like it. Well, that's us now.